Eva Victor has taken a bold approach with her new film. She's basically asking the world, what if I made Pulp Fiction, but it was absolutely gut-wrenching? Hey everyone, I am Joe from Create Context, and today we're talking about Sorry Baby, the new film from writer, director, and star Eva Victor. Sorry Baby is Eva Victor's directorial debut, and it is an astonishing accomplishment for the young filmmaker. Victor has worked steadily for the past few years, landing a recurring role on the Showtime series Billions, but they've now made the jump from television to film. If this debut is anything to go off of, they have an incredible career in front of them. Sorry Baby is a film about trauma presented in a non-linear fashion. These sort of like vignettes that play out throughout the entirety of the film. The film begins with Agnes, played by Victor, hosting her friend Liddy for a weekend away in her quiet, small woodland cottage. Agnes works full-time for the college her and Liddy attended, and it appears by all accounts that she is doing well. In fact, she is doing well, relatively speaking. She has a good job, a cute neighbor that she's romantic with, and a nice peaceful house away from the bustling city that so many of her college friends moved to after school. Around the end of this first vignette, we learn that Agnes may not be totally okay. That something happened to her while she was at school, and while it doesn't control her entire life, it has made everything in her life just a little bit worse. The film transitions to a small vignette in Agnes's life over the course of a few years. They are presented out of order, but it is easy to keep track narratively. Sorry Baby doesn't want to confuse you. It wants you to understand how menial, everyday circumstances can become more uncomfortable and more profound when you're dealing with trauma. This framing device is really a metaphor for the trauma Agnes has faced. It's not that the trauma controls her life, that she is unable to function because this terrible thing happened to her, but she is reminded of it constantly in small little ways for the rest of her life. It clouds everything that happens to her from that point on. And that reminder can take any good day and instantly turn it into a sad one. I don't want to go into full spoilers about the trauma, mainly because this film tells that story better than I ever could. But I do want to highlight how compassionate this film handles its large themes and the experiences of our lead heroine. The incident that occurs is shot in a way that it is so haunting while being pretty vague. The camera lingers on a house exterior while the daylight fades, then escapes. We see life happening around the house where the incident is taking place. Two young girls walk by on the street completely unaware of what's happening inside the house. It's a brilliant visual representation of what can happen behind closed doors and how the world stops for one person but continues to chug along for everyone else. Agnes becomes a woman haunted by this experience even though she continues to function as normal in society. When it becomes clear that there are little to no helpful resources around her, she does the only thing she can. She survives. The film continues giving brief glimpses into Agnes's life after the trauma. She excels at work, she adopts a kitten, and begins a romantic relationship with a shy but cute neighbor. Her life is moving forward, but there are all these small, constant reminders of the trauma she's faced. Each time she's faced with the reality of her situation, she handles it in the best way she knows how. Sometimes that means awkwardly excusing herself from a jury selection, and other times it means debilitating panic attacks while driving home from work. Sorry Baby never devolves into a torture or revenge fantasy. It's a pretty tame film aesthetically throughout, with all the serene countryside and cinematography drowning in a grayish color grading. This film is not interested in telling a revenge fantasy or giving the villains their comeuppance. It rather chooses to focus on the life of the abused and how they handle living with the scars of a life-altering incident. Sorry Baby is probably my favorite film of the year so far, and it's going to be a tough one to beat. The care and brilliance put into the writing is superb, and it tells a familiar story in the most human way possible. It's a movie about trauma, about women helping each other through that trauma and the lasting impacts that exist just underneath the surface, visible to no one but the victims themselves and maybe a few close friends. It's an important story, an important film, and one that I truly hope gets a wider release soon so more people can experience this incredible directorial debut. Thank you guys so much for watching the Weekly Movie Minute. Again, I am Joe from Create Context. If you like this, please give us a subscribe. That'd be super cool, and I'll see you next time.